Yo! Welcome. Let me move my OBS so that we can see the thing. Great. Hello. Welcome to I'm not trying to kill you. We are playing Scum and Villainy today, and I've got an echo. Where have I got an echo from? I think it's from me. I think I've done that. Okay.
Also, I am not Thane.
Dang it.
Oh,
I thought I'd done so well. It's because DC's missing. Let me just quickly fix that. I am Ash. I am your host and GM. I use she, her pronouns. And with me today, I have three lovely space adventurers. Space people. Space faces.
Zoid.
Yeah, I didn't want to do the Zoids thing today. So I'm going to get them to do their introductions, introducing themselves and their characters. Starting with we'll start with Ren, played by Evie.
hi, I'm Evie. Thanks for coming along and joining us in space. I am playing a character named Ren. She is a human lady. She uses she, her pronouns, and so do I. She has an incredible, lot of blue hair in a very cool, swept back style. She is former military and she dresses in a lot of black with a big military coat. She is a muscle character, so she does a whole lot of fighting, and she's really into like fine wines and expensive drinks.
Yeah, awesome. Next up we have Cammy. Hi, Cammy.
Hello, I am Cammy. I use she, her pronouns, but anything will do. Just don't call me dude or guy, please. I am playing the ship's mechanic, who is like a clone person with lots of cybernetics, and their nickname is Tin Can. And they're effectively a tech priest from 40k, but cute.
They're escaped Yaru clone. Yeah,
Escaped Yaru clone.
yeah, cool. Awesome. And then we have Cherry. Hello.
Hi, sorry, I have to remember how to unmute. I'm good at things. Hi, I am Cherry. I use they, them pronouns. And I was playing a character called Orov, who is a tiny squid hummingbird creature living in a pressure suit, but they are currently lost in the bowels of the ship. So today I am playing a brand new character called Reciprocity 6, who is an Urbot. And I'm just going to read their backstory really quick. Hopefully I can not take up too much time for everyone.
You take as much time as you like.
Do it.
Okay. Here's a link to my tweet that I just made that's got an image of them. For anyone that's curious. A sentient Urbot. Before joining the Rhapsody, Orovj obtained an old broken down kitchen drone and a dormant AI core. How they obtained these things, Orovj has been unwilling to say. It was their pet project for a while, when new to the sector, thinking that they could build themselves an Urbot to help achieve pilot status within the sector without having to pay for one. The core never came out of its dormant state, and Orovs assumed it was their lack of skill with the way. You see, they wanted to preserve any potential personality and had planned to come back to the project once their attune skill was higher. However, unbeknownst to Orovs, the Urbot simply chose not to reveal itself and continue its sleep of 1,000 years, peacefully enjoying Orovs' company and observing their every move. Well, at least within the confines of Orovs' tiny apartment on Mem. Orovs has disappeared, and being concerned for its friend and hearing its massive accidental call to the way, decides it's finally time to try this being fully online thing again and wakes up so that they can go tell someone that Oris is missing. Reciprocity 6 is a skilled mystic, although their memory is a little foggy and their cognition a little slow. They remember they used to have a very large body and aren't entirely sure on how they ended up inside a kitchen drone, but they are really enjoying making pancakes now for some reason. Pancakes are the best.
As a person who's recently just remembered that you can just make pancakes and no one can stop you, 100%, right? Like you can have pancakes whenever you like. You just have to. It's amazing.
Yep.
So Now we did our second lot of downtime. Evie, I'm just gonna ask you to mute when you're not speaking because I'm picking up a bit of echo. But yeah, so we did downtime last time, I believe. We did a second lot after our mission. Is that where we were at?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool, awesome. So we're up to doing another mission. So last time we helped out Ren's friend, which was, you know, real good. Didn't run into any trouble. Actually, you went through that mission pretty easily, which I was impressed with. And then yeah, we had a lot of like looking into the bowels of the ship. We did some clearing of stress. Cammy, were you working on a long-term project? Is that what you were doing? I'm trying to remember what
I was. So the downtime action at the start of last session, I was making a literal handgun.
Yes, that's right.
And then at the end of session, I think I did a repair action because we knocked the antenna off of the ship.
That's right. Yeah, of course. Yay. Cool. So, and we did get a new upgrade for the ship as well, if I remember correctly.
Comms? Didn't we upgrade the comms?
We upgraded the comms. So we now have comms 2, which is exciting. And so therefore less easy to knock it out, like completely destroy our comms systems, which is good. So we're up to doing the mission thing, and so this is the point where I can either like roll you up a mission and be like, or like present you with one based on your be like, here's a suggestion. But also if anyone has a thing where they're like, I want to do this as like a mission, you know, like I want to get a certain kind of upgrade, I want to like, you know, try and fix this problem or go and help out a specific faction or those sorts of things, that's a thing we can definitely do. I'm gonna does anyone have any feelings about like the sorts of things they'd like to pursue, as far as like, do you want to try and like increase like do you want to like focus on coin, on creds? Do you want to focus on trying to get upgrades for the ship? Do you want to try and focus on a specific faction? What are people feeling? And then we can jump into like introducing Reciprocity 6 and all those sorts of fun things.
I think I'm pretty easygoing.
I think because we've got a kind of interesting party split now, because we've got a Ren and Tin Can adventure featuring new friends soon to be met. So what do you think the kind of thing, Cammy, is that our characters would do together? Like, what would be our responsibility? Like, oh, we need to do blank, these are the two people to do that. Would it be, do we need to like source equipment for ship upgrades, or
yeah, what are the things that your two characters are excited about when put together and not left with anyone to keep an eye on them?
Oh dear.
Grappling cannon.
Ooh.
Oh,
What is it for?
For the ship.
It's a ship upgrade.
I got that it was for the ship, but I mean, like, why do we need a grappling cannon?
So that we can grapple onto things.
Yep. Okay, good. Good.
I love the like, obviously. Cool.
It was so obvious. Wow.
You can grapple asteroids, you can grapple spaceships, you can grapple ducks.
I feel like you'd almost definitely kill a duck if you tried to grapple cannon it.
I don't think it would be a duck anymore.
Really big ducks.
Why is this
Space
duck in
ducks,
space?
huge space ducks.
Space ducks.
All right. So, do you want to like, so one of the ways that you can do that is you can go gathering information, to try and work out like where you could find such a thing. We're currently on Nightfall, but we can jump around that system. So so Nightfall is a part of the Breck system, which is like pretty far out in the like edges of, so like you're probably gonna have a pretty easy time finding like a fell off the back of a truck sort of thing if you want to make that the job.
I feel that staying on Nightfall is good. I, at the end of the last session, just took the special ability of Bodyguard, and I feel like that might be a cool thing to do. So Tin Can wants to go off and like find some new equipment that we can use to upgrade the ship. And Ren's thing is like, okay, well, I'd better go with you. It gets randomly dark on this planet, and that's a great opportunity for people to attack you. So why don't we team up and we'll do this together?
Yeah, cool. So if we're going to look for a where am I? If we're gonna go look for a grappling cannon of some kind,
AKA looking for trouble.
yeah, grappling cannon named Trouble. It's 100% gonna get the word trouble written on the side in like
It's
big
gonna
letters.
it's gonna be Turble.
Because you can't spell.
Maybe. Belongs to a person named, like it was supposed to be shipped to a person named Turble.
Oh my god, love it.
Let me find the list of job types, and we can pick our job type for So, where am I? We are the start answer. And where is our list of job types? I'm real good at this. I just get lost in all the things. Start answer jobs.
There's so much good information in this book. It's
so
easy
much
to get
good stuff,
lost.
and it's like I need to remember to like make myself like a shorthand list. Because when we do the engagement roll, we need to like name what the kind of job it is. The job. Here we go. Planning an engagement. Right, so it's the same for every kind of ship. That makes sense. All right, so the kinds of jobs this might be are an assault, do violence to a target, and so then we would need to know what the point of attack is. So that's being like, we're gonna find someone and attack them and take their cannon. There's deception, lure, trick, or manipulate. We're going to trick someone out of a cannon. There's infiltration, which is where we're going to trespass unseen. We're going to sneak into somewhere and steal a cannon. There's mystic, engage a mystic way or power, which is we're going to psychic a cannon. I'm sure that makes sense. There's social, negotiate, bargain, or persuade. We're going to buy a cannon. Or transport, carry cargo or people through danger. We're going to go and retrieve a cannon that is like abandoned in a dangerous place. So one of the things I love about Blades and its systems is that you can be like, this is what we're going to try and this is what we want to achieve, and this is how we're going to achieve it. And like you can, and so you can get that through any of those different kinds. So you can kind of be like, what kind of hijinks do we want to get up to achieve our ends?
Transport hijinks, because that will fill an XP block.
I think, but wasn't transport what we did last time?
It was.
We did
Yeah.
But we can do a
It
can.
would be different kinds. So yeah, it's up to you.
I'd like to point out that trick someone out of a cannon sounds like a circus.
Transporting without our pilot might be disastrous.
I have one dot in helm.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I don't know that. To be honest, I think that the thought is that we don't necessarily know what happened to Orov, so I don't think we would want to go anywhere.
Well, transporting doesn't have to involve our ship. Like we can.
No,
Yeah, it doesn't. That is true.
It could be on Nightfall or whatever.
And like any of these, you could like get like you can work out how to give it a bent of getting that XP trigger as well. So that's up to you.
So why does transport get us more XP?
Oh, on the crew sheet. Oh man, I almost mixed up those words in a bad way. Ship and sheet. You earn XP when you execute a successful transport or smuggling operation.
Oh.
It's because we're on the Star Dancer, which is the smuggle.
Yeah, and that's for crew XP specifically. So this is the thing: is that like is that smuggling isn't one of these operation types, right? Because it's when it says transport or smuggling, it's not saying transport, the mission type. It means you're doing a job where you're doing those sorts of things. You're getting XP for doing Star Dancer type stuff.
I think I would like to transport something, like salvage something.
Salvage something from like a dangerous location. So then we're talking more about the dangerous location than anything else.
I'm totally here for that. I like to use guns, so yes, that sounds fun. Danger, bring it.
Mm-hmm. Let me have a look, and so that then means the detail that you need to get is the route and means of transport. So, we need to establish where are you gonna go to get this thing, in order to get such a thing and make off with it. So let me find the details because I want to have a quick look at Nightfall because I'm imagining there's probably some like yeah cool awesome. So there's so like yeah, Nightfall is in Breck. What do we got? We got a fair bit of wealth, not a lot of crime and syndicate. Tech level's fairly high. Weird level is lowish. So yeah. There's probably I imagine there are like junkyards there are definitely like junkyards on Nightfall that are like small countries in size. And like there are like gangs and things like that operate in those spaces that are like wreckers and stuff that then do trade with like the rest of Nightfall with the stuff that they get off of the it's a very complicated recycling solution. You know, we dump things and then these people hang out in those places and like steal bits and then take them back and trade them. So I imagine that's probably where you're gonna be looking, but at the same time trying to go and just take stuff from these from these kinds of places without, you know, paying the gangs that do that and it's like their turf. That's the way the danger is, I think. Okay. So the question we need to answer then is what is the method and route? So like how are we going to get things out of these junkyards? And like we totally have this like as we're like coming into the thing, like discussing this in the like show, right? That we like totally get like an aerial shot of like the huge rust-filled junkyard sections, a la like Blade Runner 2049, where it's like massive machines in amongst like rubble of like broken rebar and like girders and like crashed out cars and all these sorts of things, and like we see some like weird monkey rat creature like scamper across and like pull a bit off a tire and just start eating it. And yeah, we totally like get that image of like and then like zoom out and like one of your contacts is like zoom out like through a TV, and one of the contacts, like one of your friends, like turns off the TV and is like, so yeah, you'll probably find stuff there, but it's pretty dangerous. So yeah, what's the plan?
Well, we'll need a truck, or we can. What if we send someone in to find one and then try and land the ship, try and attach it to the ship then and there?
That's the thing you could do. It's the thing you could attempt.
We
without
are
a
working
pilot.
without our pilot, yeah. Let's make things as difficult for ourselves as we possibly can. I feel that's the way forward.
If you want a truck, you can 100% just spend a coin or a rep for a downtime action to acquire an asset. because we haven't jumped into the thing yet?
Here's my concern about doing that. Then our ship is directly linked with this theft. If we bring this ship here, people know that it's us who's doing this. Whereas if we don't, if we try and like lose any pursuers / kill any pursuers before we take this thing back to the ship, then, we're not necessarily implicating ourselves straight off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
You win this legal argument.
It's a plausible deniability. It's maybe wrapped up in here somewhere.
So does someone want to like acquire a Land Rover? Because normally that's the thing that you could get as an upgrade. But if you want to get one for like temporary usage, you can 100% do that. You just need to spend a rec or a coin to do that.
So, Cammy, is this scene kind of you and I just standing like on foot outside of a junkyard? Are we scoping this place out? Are we doing a first scope out before we do this, or are we too reckless for that? What's your feeling?
Well, I imagine it's hard to scope a junkyard the size of a small country.
That's true. That's real true.
But like a friend, like, what? Do you have a friend that it makes sense to be like showing you this stuff, or have you been here before, Tin Can? Because it makes sense that you might have like tried this sort of nonsense once in the past.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay, cool.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When is reciprocity getting introduced? Like,
yeah,
during?
let's do you want to like, so do you want to jump in now and just be like, so like these guys come back from their scope out and you're like just like hello.
But so they're gonna go scope and then come back to the ship?
Yeah, that's the plan at the moment.
Okay, we can do that. That's cool.
Do you all want to? So yeah, you all aren't doing a gather information specifically. It doesn't sound like. I know it's up to you if you want to do that, and then we can jump back.
Well, it seems to me like the information we have is this is a big junkyard. You might be able to find grappling stuff in this particular area of that space. That's what we're getting from Tin Can's contact. Yep. But we still need to find actual bits that we need. So do we need to gather information on like there was a factory that was closed down and they've dumped all their old stuff in here and they definitely have this kind of thing?
That will get you more information. So that'll be like better starting odds basically.
So
I am also going to say reciprocity is built pretty good for
gathering info.
All
right. Well, let's jump back to the ship. All right. So
interrogation droid.
Yeah, we return to the ship. It's nightfall. We're on nightfall, so like it's definitely like dawn because it was like dusk like 20 minutes ago. And so there's this like weird pink light because the light from the sun is like shining through the atmosphere of the moon that is passing by. And so like everything's kind of got this like peach color to it. And then we see the Rhapsody like nestled into this like docking bay on the side of a huge building that's like that where like it's like docking bays all the way down, and so we hear like the nightlife going on around everywhere. There's an ad going on for some kind of like stimulant cola that will apparently make you dance until you die, and in a fun way, and then like neon and like there's everything is like got like the neon blaring through the kind of like weird pink haze, and
it's very cyberpunk.
I mean, Nightfall is kind of cyberpunk in a way. And then we see you like going up this we see the two of you on an elevator up to your ship, right? Like it's a cargo style elevator where it's just like a mesh cage that just takes you up to where your ship is being stored, and we see the mesh open, and there's just there's a kitchen bot hovering outside your ship on the docking bay. What is it? What does Kitchen Bot look like?
So, Kitchen Kitchen Bot is dressed in a raggedy kind of cloak with a flower because Orovs dressed it that way because they were practicing human dressing forms on their little bot. And that's just the way they left it. And Reciprocity decided they liked it because it was a gift.
Aw. I like the idea of Oroch being like, now what does modesty mean? Like,
yeah, yeah. Here's a cloak. Here's a flower. This is nice. And so Reciprocity isn't nonverbal. They don't speak. But having spent the last hour or so kind of hovering on this dock, they've kind of been taking in what it means to communicate in this space. And so they have a hollow projector built in, as a lot of bots do. And they have decided to mimic the neon signs in order to communicate. So they project the neon signs.
lots of like cartoon characters and like slogans.
Yeah. So it's just like simple phrases with like it changes every time. It depends what they need to say. But right now they've just got like a kind of like neon, like kind of glitchy looking sign that just says, "Hi, I am here to help."
I like the idea of like a little like cartoon like otter dressed as a doctor or something. Like, you know,
Yeah, totally.
there's like
Something
That's amazing.
really sweet and cute.
I think Tin Can's, who also has a small Orbot, like flies up to them and starts spinning around, like looking at them, analyzing them, and like, "What are you?"
my brain just played the sound of like the No Man's Sky Sentinels just whiz. Yeah.
So I'm going to say that Reciprocity has two arms that you can see. There are a few more that are like tucked away, but the two you can see is one is like a little pincer and the other one is a spatula. And so they they kind of like gently grab the little Urbot with the pincer and pat it really slowly and gently with the spatula.
That's so adorable.
Isn't
You
your
think that-
isn't the Urbot skull the other Urbot skull shaped?
It's a skull with a
They're their little
thrown
skull.
in it. And it's all its little mechanical legs go. Wah! I think it's happy.
Amazing.
So-
I feel like we step out of the elevator and we're kind of just talking about our plan, right? Before we see this advertising bot around on the corner. I think we're just kind of chatting about what we're going to do. So I'm not saying we shouldn't just go in and take something. I'm just saying that perhaps with a bit more information, we might have less chance of getting shot and killed. And I, as much as I enjoy a good gunfight as much as anybody, but, better safe than dead.
I feel like that should be a slogan on a poster somewhere.
Maybe Reciprocity will pick that up at one point.
I think Tin Can nods in agreement, and this whole kind of letting the excitement of the last few jobs kind of fade away to make some sense. And I think they notice Reciprocity, and it's like, "Oh, you're awake!" Like, because has Reciprocity been like visibly on the ship?
No. The Reciprocity has come to Nightfall because they've heard the way call of Arovsh. So this is like a new thing.
You've never met before, yeah.
I like the idea that like Reciprocity just turns and like presses the doorbell or something.
Yeah. Yeah, just turns away, doesn't realize who that they're facing, and just turns away and just like ding dong.
This is like those secret agents that wanted to get on board. Tin Can says that it's knocking. No one knocks. No one doorbells.
I feel like this little bot is somewhat different to that. But shall we just find out? And she kind of strolls up towards the door as though she's also a visitor, but then just turns to this little bot and says, hello there. Can we help you?
So Reciprocity turns back around, and the next thing you see is a neon sign version of Orosh without the suit, just a little squid. And it's like blinking, like flat, like fast. Kind of like kind of an alarming pace, I guess.
You want to sell us more Oros?
No, no. Oros is a sentient being. We don't buy them. That's not something that we do.
It goes straight back to like, hi, I'm here to help. It just kind of like cycles between the two.
Do we have like communication roles in this, or are we just kind of that's just like a role play thing that we do?
Roles as in what?
Like, do we need to roll dice in order to know how well we can understand each other, or is that just basically we're fine?
I mean, is it? I mean, like for this, no, I don't think so. Like, there is, if it's not, if the outcome of a failed roll isn't interesting, why do it?
Awesome. No, that's great. That's very much my preference. Otherwise, this could get a little bit sticky pretty quickly. Cool. Okay. You're here to see Orosh. Is that you're understanding me? Yes.
I think so. To try and speed things along, Reciprocity just kind of like bangs on the side of the ship, just like gently with the spatula, just like clearly we need to get on the ship kind of thing.
Yes. No. This is our ship. There's no one inside. This is we're right here.
I feel like wouldn't you be worried at this point where Orosh is? You haven't seen them for a few days.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely that concern. Yeah. But at the same time, Thane has disappeared to do like weird downtime stuff as well. So
some more bug jelly.
And also, this is a stranger wanting to enter our home, so I think there's part of that goes on too. At least for Ren, maybe not necessarily for anybody else.
Is that you deciding whether or not you care about personal space, Cammy?
No, just thinking about how to progress things. I just saw my own face on the stream. Jesus fuck.
Okay, so yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll jump ahead to like being inside and like the kitchen scene, right? Like where everyone's in the kitchen and like trying to work out like, okay, what's the deal here? Like hello, what's going on? So
yeah, I think maybe someone has said there's got to be an easier way for you to give us information than this.
Through breakfast.
Yeah, and Reciprocity is like highly intelligent because they're an ancient Urbot, but they're just not like so skilled. They've been offline for a long time, so they haven't really learned to communicate with any of these aliens. So yeah, I think they're probably making pancakes and also have learned a long form way of presenting.
Are you doing pancake art explaining the situation?
The pancakes are whey pancakes, so they make pancakes using the whey and their spatula.
So does that mean that when you eat the pancake, you get the information?
Sure, let's go with that.
That sounds like an attune roll.
Okie dokie.
That's incredible. It's cooking magic.
This sounds like I think it's controlled. I don't think there's a lot of risk involved. I think it's limited, the amount of like information that you can possibly magically encode into a pancake. All right, cool. So on a controlled 4 or 5, let me find my reference sheet. What we so you do the thing, you communicate, but I think where's my thing for complications?
Complications on pancakes.
The stomach ache.
Well, I was gonna say they can only eat so much pancake, right? So you can like encode one idea per pancake, and it can be quite a complex idea, but I feel like you can communicate like
indigestion.
emotional concepts into pancakes.
We're not users of the whey, so maybe imbibing or ingesting too much of the whey is perhaps not great for us.
We're specifically referring to WAY, not WHEY pancakes.
Miss
Yeah.
Muffet style.
I think the idea is that you don't necessarily, it doesn't make you sick or anything, but like maybe just it's not like the clearest idea, but like maybe I managed to get across the fact that Orange is lost and asking, and just all I know is that they want help, but I don't know how to give
Yes.
that to them or where they are.
Yeah. So yeah, you kind of like you'll are like, oh wait, Orange is not just like absent; they're actively missing. And this person here is here to help. Great, excellent, that's good.
Can I make a suggestion? I think after consuming too many pancakes with too much ice cream, or whatever passes as ice cream in this kitchen, I think Tin Can like kneels down. However high Reciprocity hovers off the ground, Tin Can like meets their eye level and talks to them, kind of like a toddler, and says, "Do you want me to give you a speech assistant?" And like motioning to their Urbot, because their Urbot has like a speaker system built in, like a communicator.
Reciprocity gives them a good thumbs up and a pat with the spatula.
Cool. Do I have to make a roll for that to like plug an aux cord into the side of Reciprocity and the skull drone?
No, if you're happy for the skull drone to be gear that is being used by Reciprocity instead of you, then that's fine.
I think it like hovers around them and occasionally reaches the end of the cord and goes dump, and then comes back.
I love it. I think because Reciprocity uses the way, and this is like they're like kind of this ancient being, they start talking through Tin Can's Urbot, and their voice to start with is like extremely boomy and hard to process because it's just like super like deep and
Bass boosted.
Also, the skull has a habit of talking like some kind of like the skull from my memory is like, I am coming to get things, right? Like it's very very abrupt and harsh. And so like through the like booming through that filter, the booming becomes almost non-understandable to start with. But like yeah, you can talk through the bot. Through the skull drone.
Excellent. Okay, so I think what Reciprocity will want to do is probably use the way to kind of put some feelers out and make sure Orange is okay and stable, and that there's no emergency situation.
That is an attune roll.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
gonna spend a stress as well to give us.
Also, we have gambits in this game as well. I always forget about. That one is risky. And I think again limited.
As a mystic, just so everyone knows, my starting ability is that I can spend gambits instead of stress. But right now I'm not going to because I think stress is low. So just so we know for the future. Okay, so risky and standard.
Yep.
Oh, good.
Okay, cool. So there's a 5 in there, which is, you know that Aurora's is so like you get this sense of like Aurora's being safe for now, but also being like quite, but like there's also this sense of like having having been scared, of having encountered something very, very, very scary. And they have hidden, and now they're safe.
Okay. In that case, then Reciprocity says, I don't think we can get to them right now, but I still want to help. What can I help with?
So you're saying, just to clarify, that Oroch is physically within the ship somewhere tucked away where we can't get to them, or you're saying that they're in the way?
They're in the ship.
All right. All right. Well, in that case, they can't be too far lost. Perhaps we can continue then, Tin Can, with our original plan.
Tin Can asks what Reciprocity knows about grappling hooks.
Is it technology? Is it a ship?
It will be.
Will be.
Well, to be clear, it won't be a ship. It will be attached to the ship that we have.
Yes.
New
I think at this point there's a translation error, and so like back in Reciprocity's time, I'm sure there were grappling hooks, and but they don't know what this word means, so they just ask if it's is it
No. You just bang.
Okay. Then probably not. Unless there's anything involved in the technology, we can safely assume that Reciprocity doesn't know it.
I think we should hire a truck, and then, because our friend said that there were gangs, and so we should probably talk to the gangs rather than just cruising on in there. There was mention of gangs, wasn't there?
Oh yeah.
But you want to talk to them?
I mean, we could just shoot them, I guess.
We could. Uh-huh. What?
Could we go and spy on them for a moment, and
then shoot them? Genius.
Better safe than dead. Okay.
Spying on them sounds like gathering information with like some kind of sneaky ability. Let me have a look. What?
Skulk?
Yeah, it'd be Skulk. I reckon you'd be gathering information with Skulk.
I have a Skulk. I have a triangle in Skulk.
Because that'll make sense to historians in the 2,500 years time.
Yep. So yeah, do you want to do that? Try and get some extra information.
Yeah. So should we jump ahead that we're back on the planet?
Yeah, I mean we're just moving back and forth between the
between the docking building and the scrap. Yeah.
The car park. Yeah. The car park and the scrapyard.
Yeah. So if you want to do that, you can do.
Yeah, with Reciprocity's study, they would like to ability to study would help. I think.
Yeah, sure.
Be a joint effort.
Yeah, I mean we can do a group role if we're all going to go do studying and/or skulking.
How does Reciprocity move? Did they have like little jets that they float, or do they have like wheels?
I think they just float. Like most bots probably use some form of the way because they're based.
Sure. Okay,
and
cool.
I think that comes as part of their core, their
Awesome.
AI core.
Cool. So we know where this gang is holed up, and we're trying to. What are we trying to get information about? Like their security measures on the scrapyard? Is that what we're trying to decipher?
I think
I
we're
think
going
that-
for a kick in the door approach. Or
And yeah, we're looking at their movements and stuff, I'd guess.
Yeah, where's the best way to like go in for burgles?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
a burgle. A burgle.
I haven't heard anyone say burgle in so long because no one says it in Canada.
We're going to do a burgle.
It's time. Let's have a burgle together. All right. So so are we doing a group roll, or is one person leading, or is one
So
person?
is this a study?
So if you're like I mean, it could be a study, but it feels like a skulk. You get to choose.
So you
and
can also study a situation or a place, finding clues, finding out who's in charge.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Yep.
I feel like also maybe could we do it so that like we have Ren kind of sneakily getting us there, and then we study kind of thing. Like Ren is doing the skulking.
Yeah, we could
and
could have one person roll skulk and the others roll study. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I'm happy to do that. It's a situation of like us waiting for a moment where it gets dark, and then there's some military hand signals of like moving us forward and around this way and whatever. I think that's pretty neat. Okay, so skulk roll. So does that mean that you guys are
Who's leading this in general? It sounds like Ren is leading it.
I'll lead the skulk. Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is the all three, right? Because you'll all roll. It's a group action. So you'll all roll. You'll take the highest result from all of you, skulk, study, and the two studies. And then any that are like failures that are 3 or lower, that for each of those, Ren will take a stress.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's fine. I'm down with that. Okay, so I need to do a skulk roll then.
Yep. This one is definitely risky. I think these are risky standard.
My screen's not coming up, so I must not be able to do this in this separate window. Okay, hang on.
So Kemi has got 5 for her study.
My rolls are not good today. What is wrong with my rolls? I need some luck.
Sorry, buds. I got too many windows and stuff happening.
There's no rush.
All right, skulking it. Risky, did we say?
Yep, risky standard.
Risky standard. Okay. Now, how many gambits do we have? Can I spend a gambit on this?
We have 2 currently.
Are they easy to get back, or is this not a good idea?
I think when we critical, we get one back.
Okay. All right, that's okay. We'll go without. Let's just roll this up. Oh, it's good. Oh no, it's bad. I had another thing in the way, and I thought it was an 8, but it wasn't an 8. It was a 3.
So
Dang.
we get a 5 is our highest, so that's the actual result. But Ren takes 2 stress. Because everyone fucking up is stressful. So
I feel like we run into the back of Ren. Just like make a bunch of clumsy.
It's because you guys don't understand military hand signals. I'm using them as though I'm still in the military, and you're both looking at like, I don't understand what's happening here. Go now? Now? I don't know.
Cool. All right. Let me find how much information do you get from a gather info. GGGG.
I could pretend to be a guild person, and we could lie our way in. Although I don't have any lie points, so probably not the best idea.
So we've got a standard effect. All right.
We could try to deal with the consequences.
I mean, that's a thing, right? So
We could just rush in and make a bad decision. 'Cause-
you know that that there are the area that that you've been scoping out, because it has a bunch of like it has lots of parts and junked small ships of similar sizes to yours. There's like a bunch of like tow tugs and small shuttles from like moving from bigger ships and things and all that sort of stuff. And so the kind of area that you're looking at is managed by a gang called the Tank Skulls, and the boss of that is just a guy whose name is Syndrome. So yeah, he's known to be like pretty erratic. He has a bunch of lieutenants that like try and make it so that things are like organized and stuff, but at the same time, like the the kind of areas where they like keep their main patrols and stuff, but you also know that like the time schedules for those sorts of things are pretty like just whenever Syndrome is like, go do a raid, go do a patrol, it's time for, I've got the shiniest meat bicycle. Like he's that kind of fella. So it's a pretty dangerous area, mostly because like there's heaps of there's lots of drive cores in these ships, which means that it's a dangerous area to be doing the scavenging thing that these people do, which is why only the most like danger happy are actually out there doing it in the first place, right? Like, and that's going to be a thing that you'll have to watch out for as well, is like there's a lot of radiation here just from drive cores. So
okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Love
Do
it.
we have equipment that deals with that, or is it more a matter of...
It's that thing of like, if you don't get too close, you'll be okay to like any of the broken ones. Just make sure that like, yeah, that you don't be like, that thing seems to be glowing, I'm gonna go lick it, right? Like, it's just that's a concern. So I feel like that gives us like a fair amount of information on what we're doing. So do we want to take our first break and jump back in on the engagement roll?
Sure, yeah.
For the mission, and we can see how far you get before things go wrong. All right, we'll be back in just a minute, chat.